Warriors! We have another loaded show coming your way on Golden State Warriors today. But before we get started, we are 129 people away from 29,000 subs. If you want the best Warriors coverage on the entire internet with multiple videos per week exploring the latest Warriors news and rumors, the solution is very simple. Just hit that red subscribe button down below or go to youtube.com/WarriorsTV. Welcome in to Golden State Warriors Today by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Chase Senior. Hope all of you are having a phenomenal week. We dive into the latest Golden State Warriors rumors. And previously here on the channel, we did talk about the reported interest that Golden State does have in Utah Jazz center Rudy Gobert. And this is worth exploring because the Warriors have long been in the market for a big man. And the Utah Jazz, if they go out and flame out in the first round against the Dallas Mavericks, could look to blow it up by potentially trading away Rudy Gobert, maybe parting ways with Donovan Mitchell, and they could even be looking for a new head coach in Quinn Snyder. So if that does fall in line, could the Golden State Warriors target Rudy Gobert in a trade to make this lineup even more lethal? Fadeaway World did explore this potential possibility, saying this: the Utah Jazz have disappointed us for a long time now, and if they fail to advance to the second round, changes will be made. The main target will have to be Rudy Gobert, a three-time Defensive Player of the Year winner. The Frenchman is a dominant paint presence, but he will have to be moved for a complete team reset. The best destination for Gobert? None other than the Golden State Warriors. Here is the trade package that must be offered if Golden State wants to take a risk and build one of the most complete teams in NBA history. Here is that trade idea from Fadeaway World. In just a few moments, we will get your thoughts on this potential trade idea. It is pretty fascinating for a couple of reasons, because the Warriors would get one of the best defensive players in the history of the NBA and a guy who can certainly be utilized in this Warriors death lineup alongside Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and the emerging Jordan Poole. Warriors get Rudy Gobert. The Jazz would receive Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and James Wiseman. Before we continue to dissect this trade idea from Fadeaway World, I want to hear from you in the comment section. Whether you're watching all across the United States or internationally, especially in a place like the Philippines, would you make this deal? Type T for trade, type P for pass. Get those votes in the comment section right now. Now, in making this trade, from the Utah Jazz's perspective, it would help the Jazz rebuild. And we're also operating under the premise that maybe Donovan Mitchell would be traded as well, and the Utah Jazz would hit the reset button with that franchise, knowing that this current regime that's currently intact and in place right now just isn't enough to move the needle and get past the second round of the NBA playoffs, and in this year's playoffs might not be able to advance out of the first round of the playoffs. Now, Andrew Wiggins would have to be included in that deal in order to match salaries, and we'll talk about Rudy Gobert's salary implications coming up here in just a few moments, but let's first focus in on the player that is Rudy Gobert. 2021-2022 stats, 66 games played. He's really been awesome on both ends of the floor, and this has been the consistent theme with Rudy Gobert over the last several seasons. 15.5 points per game, 14.5 rebounds. He is just so good on the defensive end of the floor, and while he does give you 2 blocks per game, that doesn't even account how many shots he's able to affect and alter at the rim. Now, you can certainly pick apart Rudy Gobert on some pick and rolls, especially when he has to go up against some really athletic and quick twitchy centers. But Rudy Gobert on the defensive end, using that length does help make up for the fact that he's not the quickest center that we've ever seen. He's also really, really efficient, 71% field goal percentage. Now, when you take a gander at Rudy Gobert's contract, he's an expensive player, and he's only going to continue to get more expensive over the next couple of years. Next year, base salary of $38 million. The year after that, an uptick to $41 million. 2024-2025, a shade under $44 million annually, and then in 2025-2026, as he continues to get a little bit older, that salary does blossom to nearly $47 million. But this is appealing for a couple of reasons. The lineup versatility in which it gives the Golden State Warriors, and how lethal it already makes one of the best defensive NBA teams, because they would be even better with Rudy Gobert in that lineup. Andrew Wiggins, no question, one of the best wing defenders in the NBA today. So you would lose that by having a three-guard lineup led by Steph Curry, Jordan Poole, and Klay Thompson, but you're able to make up for it with some switches and with that defensive length and height that Rudy Gobert would bring to the low block. And Draymond Green, as we know, has been locking up the Joker all throughout this first-round playoff series that does resume on Wednesday. He still is an elite defensive player and one of the best defensive players that we've ever seen in modern NBA history, but because of his positional versatility and his overall just gutty feel, Draymond Green, one of the best defensive players ever in the history of the NBA. Coming up around the corner here on Golden State Warriors today, have you noticed how good Klay Thompson has been in this first round series, but also over the last 7 to 10 games? The numbers that he's been putting up, crazy. We'll get to that here momentarily, but first, I want to hear from you in the comment section right now. I asked you if you'd make that trade or not. I also want to ask you this. Do you think Gobert would be a good fit in Dub Nation? Type Y for yes, type N for no. I'm fascinated to see what you all comment. NBA title odds. Before we get to Klay, how about the Golden State Warriors? With how well they've been playing against the Denver Nuggets, number one in NBA title odds at plus 275, followed by the Boston Celtics, who were able to finish off the Brooklyn Nets. Kyrie, KD swept. A lot of people love to see it. Phoenix Suns without Devin Booker have fallen from first in NBA title odds to third at plus 450, followed by the Milwaukee Bucks and the Miami Heat. Philadelphia 76ers in danger of being the first team to ever lose a 3-0 series lead in NBA history, now out of the top 5 NBA title odds. If you're feeling good about the Warriors and you think that they can hoist another Larry O.B., get those bets in and bet on the Dubs to get that dub in the NBA championship by going to chatsports.com/bet, enter the promo code CHAT125 for a 125% deposit bonus. Appreciate all of you for making Golden State Warriors a part of your day. We're going to talk about Klay Thompson and how well he's been playing over the last 7 to 10 games and the fact that he is really rounding into form right now, looking like the vintage all-pro first-team NBA Klay Thompson. How about the numbers that he's put up over the last 7 games? This is a combination of what he's done in the first round against the Denver Nuggets, and then to round out the regular season, the numbers really have been stupid. They've been stupendous. They've been crazy considering the severe injuries that he has had to deal with coming off of with that torn ACL and the torn Achilles. Klay Thompson has been cooking over the last 7 games, and he's been overshadowed by how well Steph Curry has been playing. Coming off the bench, by the way, might be able to get back into that starting rotation in Game 5, as well as how well Jordan Poole has been playing. So Klay Thompson has fallen under the radar, folks. Last 7 games, nearly 30 points per game, 42 of 83 from downtown, which is good for 50.5% from beyond the arc, and he's connecting on about 53% of his field goals. And a couple of takeaways that I have from watching Klay Thompson, especially in this first round series against Denver, and in the second round, maybe the defensive assignments that the Warriors are going to face are going to be a little bit tougher, but Klay Thompson, when he's playing like this, in addition to Jordan Poole and Steph Curry, with the defensive play of Draymond Green, is a big reason why this Warriors team, number one in NBA title odds currently. The classic Klay quick release looks really smooth. Catch and shoot off the dribble, in the corner, on the wing, at the top of the circle. He's been doing it all. And what I also like to see is Klay Thompson making some plays off the dribble. He lacked that a little bit, especially that explosion when he was first coming off the injury, because he's trying to get comfortable coming off those severe injuries. But now, a couple months removed from making his NBA debut, coming off those respective ailments, he's made some really nice plays off the dribble and has been able to create for himself, but also some of that drive and kick for his teammates. There are still some lapses defensively, but at the end of the day, all good for me. If he's given this team something, an edge offensively, and he is that vintage Klay Thompson, which the numbers certainly indicate over the last 7 games, and from a points per game perspective, even better than that 5-year stretch where he really solidified himself as one of the best all-around players in the game. those defensive lapses, I can accept those. And I think that the defense is going to come eventually. Now, is it going to get to the point where he's locking down LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kawhi Leonard throughout the course of a 7-game playoff series to an elite degree? Maybe not. But if he's making plays happen offensively and he's finding Twine from anywhere on the floor and putting the biscuit in the basket, that helps make up for some of those defensive lapses. So before we hop on out of here, I want to hear from you once more. Grade Klay's play in the playoffs up to this point throughout the first 4 games of this playoff series against Denver. And on Wednesday night at the Chase Center, I expect the Warriors to put the nail in the Nuggets' coffin. A, B, C, D, or F, how well has Klay Thompson played in your eyes? Let me know, and thanks so much for watching today's show.